Hello. Today I'm going to talk about how I installed a 12-inch subwoofer into my 2016 Mercedes S550 or W222. I'm going to show you a few tricks that I've done to accomplish it without losing any settings with the battery and stuff like that. So the first thing I want to do, I want to show you, this is actually a 12-inch subwoofer. I want to show you underneath the panel what it actually looks like and what the end result is. That is a Boston Acoustic mono amp, especially for subwoofers. It's 800 watt into 2 ohms, 500 watt into 4 ohms. I'm going to show you how I wired it, the line converter, the ground, and the power, as well as the remote wire. Alright, so I'm going to get started and let's go. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, we want to move these screws. There's one here. There's one on this side, and then this whole panel will actually come out, and I'll show you what we're gonna remove next. Alright, so those screws are removed, and this is the tool I actually use to remove them. This is what the actual screw look like. It's like a hex, and so of course you want to get something that's going to fit into the screws themselves. So this is what it actually look like. That's to the right. This is to the left, and let's go ahead. We're going to take this out, and we're going to take this whole panel out, and this whole panel just slides out just like that. We're going to put that to the side. The next thing we're going to remove is this silver plate, and this just pops out. You probably want to get one of these kind of tools to actually pop it out. And we're going to start here, and we're just going to pry it very gently. Alright, actually we have 2 screws, 2 pop out that we want to move. We want to take that one out, and we want to take this out as well. Alright, so I'm going to get a regular screwdriver and just pop it out very gently. And the way these pop out come out, I'm going to put the screw right there. We're just going to pry the top of it out, pull this out, and this just comes out very easily. Very simple. So now we're going to pry this whole silver thing out. Alright, it's coming out. That comes out. We're going to take this silver piece and we're going to put it to the side. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to remove the side panel. So there's a screw here, there's a screw right here, there's a screw right here, and actually not a screw, sorry, wrong technology, a pop out right there. The same thing on this side as well. There's one here, there's one there, and there's one here. And so these side pieces, when I have my hands on, will actually come out. So let's do that now. And there's one here, which we're just gonna pop out. Comes out just like that. Pull this out, the whole thing comes out. And this is what they actually look like. Alright, so now that we got the whole pop out for the right side, this actually comes out, and we're just gonna pull it out. Comes out very simple. Be very careful with it. And we're gonna pull out this back panel, the center panel as well. So pull this out. You can actually pull this out as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and move out that center panel. Now we're gonna move out the side panel. And this is the actual accessory in here, and I'm going to show you how important that is. So let's pull this panel out. We're going to disconnect this light. And so this light is disconnected. So we'll take this out, put this on the side. And you can notice your auxiliary batteries here, should you want to change it. Have a whole slew of wires and stuff like that. And we're going to do the same thing for the right hand side. Alright, so now that we have all the pop out removed, we're going to actually pull the left side out now. Comes out fairly simple. And we're also going to remove the light switch here. Fairly easy to disconnect. Alright, so the left hand panel actually comes out. Put it on the side. So this is the actual back of the car and the amplifier, and I'm going to show you what I did to actually hook up the ground and the remote and everything like that. So let me remove this amplifier and show you where I actually ran the wires. Okay, so now that we got the amplifier out, we're going to take out the centerpiece. This comes out like that. Put this on the side. Alright, and then we're going to take out this piece. So this is, underneath this is where the battery is. This comes out like that, and there goes the battery. So you have the battery here, and you have the auxiliary battery right here. And for the amplifier needs ground, it needs power, and it needs a remote turn on. So this is the ground wire that I attached. If you don't want to get any kind of indicators in your dashboard, you probably want to hook up a wire here, tie a wire on here, and just ground it to a metal part of the car when you actually pull this up, so it's always grounded. So that's how you make the connection. The thing for the battery, if you don't want to lose any settings, if you need to take this off, you don't need to. But all you're gonna do is unscrew the top nut and put your amplifier cable on it, and that way you don't lose any settings. But if you don't want to make sure, you can always hook up a battery charger to this, so that way it's constantly getting power and you won't have to worry about losing any settings. Alright, so I'm gonna take off some more stuff, and then we can show you what we did to tap into the speaker wire of the car. Okay, so what we have here is a wiring diagram. This is a 2015 Mercedes S550. This is W222. We want to go to the wiring chart that talks about the amplifier. If you don't have an amplifier in your car, you hook up the line converter, and this is the line converter that I have directly to your speakers. But if you have an amplifier, you need to tap into where the signal is being amplified, and for this car it's going to be the subwoofer. So the subwoofer, it talks about here, the blue and white and the brown and white wires are being amplified. So that's what you want to tap into, and basically the amplifier is right there for the car. This is the actual amplifier for your existing speakers, the factory speakers. And if you want to tap into the wires, I'm going to peel that off, and they'll go to blue and white speaker wires that's being amplified. And your line converter, of course, for me, I use the white strip, which tells me it's positive, and the one without the white strip is negative, and that goes to my line converter. And you probably want to make sure everything matches up. The other cables are for the RCA that goes into the amplifier itself. So what I have is a Boston Acoustic mono amp. This mono amp is 800 watts into 2 ohm and 500 watt into 4 ohm, so it really kicks, and my gain is really set low. This of course is the speaker wire. The RCA cable will come in here, and this is where you have your power, your remote turn on, and this is your ground. And this you can adjust after everything is hooked up, and of course this is what goes into the subwoofer itself. The remote turn on, where we get the power, this is the part when you turn on the accessories, this is where I get the power from. So of course, red here is positive. So when you turn on the accessories, this will be energized. But I always believe in safety, and I put a fuse. This is a fuse. This is 7.5. So if anything happens, this will blow. And of course, for my power going to the amp, this is a 50 watt. It's for 50 amps. So right now, you know, there's no power going to it. Basically like a circuit breaker. And this is a 0 gauge wire that I'm using. And the same thing for the ground. The ground wire is 0. So you don't want to have any kind of distortion going into your amp, and every time you press the accelerator you can hear a whining noise. So that, if you do everything correctly, you shouldn't hear anything. So batteries here, auxiliary batteries there, and the amplifier for the factory radio and all the speakers. That's it right there. So let's put everything back together, and then we'll see how it works. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put on the right side, I'm not gonna forget the light switch, and also the auxiliary plug right here is gonna go into that, which is basically that 12 volt right there. So let's go ahead and just connect it. Make sure everything lines up the way it's supposed to. Got those two holes. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the same for the left hand side. Left hand side, we're gonna do the exact same thing. We want to make sure that we hook up the light switch and plug it in right there, and then it's basically just secure it. Basically want to put this screw back. Alright, so now that the screw is back, we got here, we're going to put back the center piece. Make sure everything's flush, and then we're going to put back the piece that covers the battery compartment. I'm going to move these wires out of the way. Alright. This piece will actually come in just like that. Take it back out, put it back in. Alright, we're gonna put back the two, pop out. Alright, and the amplifier is going to fill right into this section right here. Notice there's no spare tire because these cars come at run flat, so it'll be a perfect place to put an amplifier. I actually cut out the board to fit into this so it can fit nicely. So basically that's where the amplifier would go. Of course, all the wires. Just put in here. Alright, so the next piece we're going to put back is a silver piece. This just snaps right into place. put the two pop outs here. So now you have a nice clean installation. You're gonna open this up. You're gonna take this little hook and we're gonna put it right there so we can finish working on it. This of course will come down in here. Alright, and we're gonna hook up the ground, the remote, and the power wire to these, and then we'll be basically done. Alright, so now that we got the power going to the amp, we're going to hook up the RCA cable. And we're going to match the colors. Alright, so now we got a complete amp. This is for the speaker, this is for the line converter that switches over to the RCA, goes to the amp, and this is the power from the battery. This is a remote turn on, which is that over there, and this is the ground wire. So just put everything back. We have a nice clean fit installation. We'll just tie up these wires, make it nice and tidy. Of course, we want to put this back on, and let's turn on the accessories, see if this thing lights up. Alright, there you go. Everything lights up, turns on when you have the accessory on, and there go my subwoofer. So yeah, it's great. Alright, we're going to take this down. Alright, that's the complete installation of adding a subwoofer to a W222 or 2016 Mercedes S550 Mercedes. Hopefully you liked the video. Please subscribe and like the page.